Yes, good morning, students. How are you all? I'm Dr. Kamalkant Sharma, Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, Chandigarh University. Students, before I start the presentation and the lecture on the topic of journey of innovation and engineering, I just want to say two, three things. I'm from Electrical Engineering, non-CSE branch. And when I talk about my patents, my research papers, I have the papers and the the papers and some chapters and the patents in the area of cloud computing in the area of IoT. So before I start with, I just want to give certain idea that yes, how the system can be seen, how the engineering can be seen, right? There are many misconceptions about engineering, and there are many misconceptions about innovation. So I'm from non-CSE background, but I can move into the CSE background in the when I am going for any kind of research, any kind of innovation. I'm filing patents, so it is up to me. Similarly, when the person who's from CSE and want to make any kind of application for the people, or want to integrate certain aspects of engineering which is not from CSE, he or she can do. So this is how we can think of that. Yes, we are in engineering, and we have to understand this concept, the innovation and engineering, and how we can talk about this. How can we see the innovation in India, across the globe? How can we see the startups? And nowadays we are building a culture of startups in India, right? So today we will talk about IPR. Today we will talk about innovation. We will see some misconceptions which are in the mind of individual, the young people, the youth, the students, those who want to do certain things, but they're thinking that this is very hard thing and might just skip this. So we will try to address all the issues related to IPR. I hope this is clear. So now we are talking about journey of innovation and engineering. So if I talk about our concept, the basic concept of innovation. What is innovation? Innovation is certain, you have to add certain things. We have to integrate the things into a conventional system. So we will discuss what is research, what is discovery, then we will talk about invention, then we will talk about innovation. We will also talk about some of the importance of innovation, patent, trademark, and copyright. And when I'm talking about trademark and copyright, students, we have to understand two things. There's a very thin line difference between both of them. And see, when in the university, when you're making certain document, you can go with a copyright. Okay. Have an example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And any company, there's written TM, and this TM is nothing but a trademark. So we will talk about research. But what research is all about? Some of the people, some of the students, some of the individuals believe that the research should have certain positive outcomes, or when the results are not coming in our favor, the research is not there. See, this is a misconception. Research has to be carried out. See, if you are doing certain research and certain outcomes are not met, certain deliverables are not met, so that doesn't mean that the research is not fruitful. At least if any other people or any other individual want to do certain research, certain things in a particular domain, you're giving additional information to him or her, that yes, these are already been done, carried out, and if you are doing the same thing into this field, so please don't follow this path. So you have to understand this, the research always not have a fruitful outcome or as a fruitful deliverables that you are looking for, but yes, you are doing you are following a certain path which can be a what I can say, torch bearer for someone. So when we talk about overview of research, a scientific method is a very conventional definition. Scientific method is used to conduct a rigorous and extensive investigation of a given topic, concern, or an issue. Right? Like if you're talking about primary school, some science fair is there, certain projects you can carry it out, so certain experiment is required. Okay, and you can carry out with that particular project, and you can find out what can the research, what can be the things which can come out of that particular project. So there are different types of research. We segregate according to the purpose, according to the depth of scope, according to the degree of manipulation of variables, according to the time which is carried out, like experimental, non-experimental, quasi-experimental, according to the type of inference, according to the sources of information, how the data is obtained, according to the data used. So if I'm talking about according to the purpose, your research can be theoretical or can be applied also. So most of the students asked me this question earlier also. So theoretical and applied, what is the difference between theoretical and applied? When I'm talking about engineering, basically it's the application based process, application based domain, right? We have to apply something. So theoretical, that means yes, you are doing certain equation based, certain you're doing some literature review or you're making some equation, but whether it can be applied or not. So according to its purpose, research can be segregated in a theoretical and applied way. Similarly, when we're talking about depth of scope, it can be exploratory, it can be explanatory, it can be correlation and descriptive. So normally 90% of the research is of the domain exploratory and explanatory. Okay, and descriptive, yes, it is required, but only not more than 5% as per my study, as per my research, as by my quantitative analysis. So when we talk about degree of manipulation of variables, we talk about qualitative and quantitative. As the name suggests, qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so what is qualitative, what is quantitative? So we have to segregate our research on the basis of different parameters. Similarly, when we are talking about time, it can be experimental, it can be non-experimental, it can be quasi-experimental also, combination of both. We can talk about inference, it can be deductive, it can be hypothetical, it can be inductive also. So that is very, very important. The type of inference, whether it's hypothetical, whether it's deductive only, or whether it's inductive only. So you have to understand the difference between all these three. Let's have one example. I am riding a bicycle. Okay. When I'm riding a bicycle, and a simple bicycle, not a particular specified specification, not a very not for a particular domain or particular field. I'm not talking about non-terrain and terrain. I'm talking about just a simple bicycle. So when I'm talking about simple bicycle, certain equations are there definitely when you are going to make it, when you're going to manufacture. Certain companies already have certain kind of equations, certain kind of background, certain kind of literature review, certain kind of market study before making that bicycle. So certain theories can be there. They can be hypothetical, they can be non-hypothetical. Okay, so you have to understand whether it's deductive, deduced, or whether it's induced. So from these two words, the deductive and inductives are there. So whether it's deduced or whether it's induced. I hope everybody understands the difference between induction and convention. So please correlate with this induction and induction and convention. So we will talk about according to source of information. It can be longitudinal, it can be cross-sectional, interdisciplinary can also be. So according to how the data is obtained, it can be primary data, it can be secondary data. Secondary data is basically what we can say, example, independent dependent variable. So if it is independent variable, you're talking about primary. If you're talking about dependent variable, it is secondary. According to the data type of data used, it can be documentary, it can be field, it can be laboratory based, it can be mixed method. Similarly, now what you see from this figure, Tellability, I put this figure. What do you understand from this figure? Naturally, you can see the discovery of Apple. Okay, no. Discovery of gravity? No. This figure is very, very important to understand. It is representative inquisitiveness. Okay, it is showing curiosity. The person is seeing the apple and try to deduce something from that apple. Okay, leave about gravity, leave about apple, leave about the person. Just see, he is seeing the apple and trying to deduce something from the apple. Okay, he can deduce certain equations. So this is very much important. This is very much required for doing any kind of research, curiosity and inquisitiveness. So what is discovery now? If I talk about discovery, you know very well, discovery is an act of detecting something new or something previously unrecognized as meaningful. This is the definition about discovery. Now, many students ask me, sir, can we file a patent? We want to do something new. I tell them this, okay, you can, but try to, improve the things. Try to find a solution of the problem. Certain time you're not having any resources to make a system which can give you fruitful deliverables. But anyhow, you have to find a solution to a problem. Normally, I use one kind of line that we all are humans, right? And when we all are humans, we will face a certain kind of problems. Okay, similar kind of problems, we can say. And you are having any kind of problem, just find a solution on the Google. If you are able to, then your problem is solved. But if you're not able to, then find or make a solution of that particular problem that is better. I hope I make it very, very clear. Right? Google will give you a solution, but if you are not able to find a solution on Google, then make your own solution. It can be customized also, and that can be patented. So discovery is an act of detecting something new or something previously unrecognized as meaningful. And some discoveries represent a radical breakthrough or knowledge or technology. Okay, new discoveries are acquired. Now, if I ask you, what is the latest discovery that you faced in 2022 or that you encountered in 2022? The discovery is nothing but your QR code. Nowadays, you're going with Google Pay, you're going with Paytm, you're going with different types of devices. The background is encoder and decoder. The background is multiplexer and demultiplexer, which are lies, in the digital electronics. But yes, nowadays, how many of you are carrying a cash? We are using a QR code. Just scan it, right? And you can pay the money, you can receive a money, and all these transactions can be carried out. So you have to understand that yes, how this discovery is meaningful. That's why I'm using the word over here. The definition says unrecognized as meaningful. If something new you are inventing or you're doing something new, that would come under the category of discovery, right? So it can be merged with pre-existing knowledge, or it can be merged with pre-existing actions. Let's talk about invention. There's a very thin line difference between both of them, invention and discovery. When I talk about invention, it is a unique or a novel device, a method. Okay, it can be a process also, it can be a composition also. But over here, I just want to emphasize, in India, we don't normally we don't patent a process. Okay, so invention process is a process within an overall engineering and product development process. It may be improvement over a machine or a product. It can be a certain kind of certain deliverables can be changed. Parametric approach can be changed, or a new process can be there for creating an object or a result in a very simple way. That is an invention. The figure says, or the picture says everything, right? Similarly, what this figure says. What this figure says. I deliberately put this figure and it's a different background. It's not a white background. So just tell me what this picture says, what this figure or picture says. Two, yeah, one sheep is seeing a human, a different human. A human is seeing a sheep. What they're trying to do. Now, you know very well, we can take certain methods, we can use certain methods, we can incorporate certain methods to use, or I would use a word use, to use animals for our work, right? So they're seeing each other, they're trying to find out what the similarity, dissimilarity is there, you can say. They're also trying to find out how the human is thinking and how we can use a sheep, how can we use different animals for our work, how their potential can be recognized, can be utilized. So many perceptions can be built up. Okay, so that is innovation. So innovation is a practical implementation of the ideas that results in the introduction of new goals, services, or improvement in offering goods or services. That is very, very important. So here we talk about innovation. So I hope you understand the difference between discovery, innovation, and invention. So I'm using this quote. If you look at the history, innovation doesn't come just from giving people incentives. It comes from creating environments. So it's very important. Make your environment like this, or develop an environment like this that you can innovate. It's a life cycle. Okay, you cannot say that okay, some person is just taking some salary and he will only do innovation. No, the innovation will come from environment where the ideas can connect. It can be interdisciplinary, it can be core ideas, it can be some software ideas. So we have to think. So I just quoted over. It's a quote from Steven Johnson. So you have to think beyond a conventional system. So that's the difference between discovery, invention, and innovation. So you can see that the discovery is nothing but the discovery of fire and light. Okay, so coming upon something which is not acknowledged, that is discovery. That can be, nowadays we're talking about, like we were talking about Corona. The COVID-19 was there. So now you think that it comes in the category of discovery, invention, or innovation. Definitely it's not come in the category of innovation. So you have to think whether it was discovery or whether it was invention, right? So similarly, which is not acknowledged, it's a discovery. But when we're talking about creation of new product, it is invention. Okay, different inside business models, it can be different prototypes, that is invention. When I'm talking about innovation, then you can think about self-driving taxis. You can talk about Amazon Scout. You're talking about some kind of impossible food, care of Amazon Scouts. These are certain things which you can think of, that is innovation. So I think it is very clear now that when we talk about invention, it is creation of new product. But when I'm talking about innovation, it is adding value to something already existing. I'm again using the word adding value to something already existing. We're not creating a very overall new product. We are making certain changes in that particular product so that it can be improved up. That is your innovation. So when I talk about scholarly literature, we talk about two different types of research papers, because nowadays we are talking about research paper also. So there are two types of research paper. One is review paper and one is a research paper. When I talk about review paper, normally the student think about that this review paper is of no use. I believe no. It is of very, it has a very good significance and it is of good use. When I talk about review paper, it gives you the comprehensive reviews that provide insight of the interpretation of the subject. Okay, now let's talk. I'm dealing with power system, right? So when I'm dealing with power system, I can go with the deregulated environment. I can go with the hybrid system. I can go with some kind of renewable energy sources. Nowadays, India is talking about 60% penetration of renewable energy sources into the system. We're talking about carbon credits. We're talking about Kyoto Protocol. We're talking about solar PV arrays. We're talking about integration of renewable energy sources. So when we're talking about this, we have to understand what has been done already. Okay, and what are the critical feedback you receive from certain professors, certain academicians, certain industry people. Okay, so because ultimately whatever you are devising, whatever you are giving through an equation, you are representing through an equation, that would be seen in the industry as an outcome, right? Like let's have example, we are having a solar PV array or PV array. Normally students say what is the difference solar and PV. We are having certain PV arrays in which we are having a we are having a polycrystalline also and monocrystalline also, right? And but on the basis of efficiency, we devise a monocrystalline and polycrystalline, even though we are talking about certain other types of arrays also. So, but before making those arrays, we have to understand what is our limitations, what researchers says. Okay, what are the outcomes of the literature review? So Review paper is just a critical and comprehensive review that provides you insight about the interpretation of a particular topic definitely from the available evidence. When we talk about research paper, it's just a piece of academic writing that provide analysis, interpretation, and argument definitely based on independent research. Now, when I talk about independent research, I just want to quote over here. One of my students, he was in first year. Now he's in third year. So he was in first year. He was talking about Alzheimer. So first we made this review paper, and then we did a research over there, and then we filed a patent on the Alzheimer. Nowadays, you might be knowing that we are dealing with the neurodegenerative diseases, and Alzheimer is one of them. Okay. So research paper, what is the purpose and what is based on, how it is written. So let's talk about first of all review paper. Its purpose is only to critically analyze a previously published literature on a specific topic. So we have to understand that what are the findings of that particular research paper, what is the finding of that particular author in that particular paper, and what is the interpretation, what is the analysis you carried out. It's just not simple, just you write a research paper and the review research paper and said, okay, we done the research paper and we just wrote a review paper. It won't work. We have to analyze it, critically analyze it. What are the research paper published? What is the outcome of that particular research paper? And how many literature has been published? Definitely in a particular index journals or conferences. But if I talk about what it is based on, it is based on the existing published articles. It does not report any original research, but this is known as secondary literature. First is primary, which is already available. Secondary, you put some critical analysis out of that, and this is known as secondary literature. Then how it is written, the author select a specific topic, and then you can summarize it, depend upon the author to author. Okay, certain keywords are there in a particular topic, and the author can select a specific topic and then summarize existing literature on that particular topic. But on the other hand, if you talk about research paper, its purpose to conduct and report a detailed original research study. It should be original. When I talk about original, the plagiarism, there's UGC policy on the plagiarism. You can check out. Okay, it presents the author unique investigation of a specific research question. When we talk about a regional, we're talking about ethical research also. It is based on the regional research that can be conducted with a paper author. This is known as primary literature. And we can formulate a research question, collect data, and conduct a regional study. This is how the research paper need to be written. Okay, I hope you are very much clear about the review paper and the research paper. Now, when we are going to write a review paper, certain things are required, and mostly the students, just go haphazardly, and they don't find a clear path. So I just try to devise a clear path over here for the student, those are doing research or those are going to do a research on a particular topic. How to write a review paper? Check the journal aim and scope first of all. In which journal you are targeting to download your papers, or which journal you're targeting for publishing a review paper. Then define your scope, whether the scope is aligned with the aim and the scope of the journal. Then finding sources to evaluate. Write your title, abstract, and keyword. Those are very, very important. Abstract is the crux of the research paper, right? Whatever written in the research paper or the review paper, it should be reflected in the abstract. Then introduce the topic, include critical discussion over the sum it up, and then edit and proofread. This is how you can write a very good review paper. If I talk about how to write a research paper, again the same case. But yes, in this you have to, first of all, you have to choose a topic. See, in the review paper, when you are going to review certain articles, then you come to the conclusion that this topic can be best suited to me, or I can do a research on that particular topic. But when I'm talking about research paper, you have to choose a topic first, then gather preliminary research, organize a research in a particular, when I talk about organize research, you can go through a Gantt chart. It is readily available on the Google. You can check out this format of Gantt chart and then customize according to your requirements. Then write a thesis statement, which is normally known as problem formulation also. In certain places, it can also known as problem formulation, but we say write a thesis statement. Then determine a supporting evidence, write a research paper outline, then first draft, Okay, cite your sources correctly. And this is very, very important, cite your sources correctly. When I'm saying cite your sources correctly, it means that you should not cite the sources haphazardly, that whether it belongs to that particular text or not. You're just citing the sources. It is not a right way to cite your references. So cite your sources correctly and edit and proof it. Now let's talk about, we already discussed about research. We already discussed about the how we can write particular review paper, because you have to read review papers, many review papers before writing your review paper. And definitely for the research, you have to see various researches already done by some researchers, and how they have been conducted, what is the preliminary investigation, secondary investigation, how they've carried out. This is very, very important. You have to check out. So now let's talk about importance of innovation. When I'm talking about importance of innovation, without innovation we cannot survive. This is a word I would use over here, because when I say, so talking about importance of innovation, when I'm talking about importance of innovation, you have to know that without innovation we cannot survive. This is a very hard fact. We must acknowledge it, because the countries those are developed now, or though the countries those are going very fast in generating new things, or making new things, or creating an environment for ideas. They are developing at a very fast stage, and they are already developed, right? I just want to share over here, India is also going very fast now when I say about startups. Okay, most of the students, most of the individuals, they prefer startups. Okay, this I found on certain website also, that most of the now people don't want to work under any leadership or so. They just want to lead their own company. They just want to lead their own startup. Okay, they say, if I want to work, if I'm working for 24 hours, why I have to depend upon others? So this is the kind of concern, this is the kind of what I can say perception is building in India also. And see, without innovation, we cannot go beyond the conventional system or conventional growth. If you have to enhance your growth, if you want to go exponentially into this domain or into this field, then you have to do some innovation. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, so innovation increases chances to react to changes. And when I'm talking about ROI, we are talking about return on investment. Okay, so we have to, it has discovered new opportunities, that is ROI, return on investment. So increased competitive advantage and continuous innovation. Okay, so it will definitely affect or give an impact on the performance and profitability of an institution, of an industry, of an organization. So naturally, it would. So I would say we are looking for innovation in education also. We are looking for certain things which can be added in the conventional education system. NEP was introduced in 2020, and it was a very great initiative by the government of India, and it was required also. And we hope that this policy NEP would change, would put a very great change in the education system, and definitely help the students. So when I talk about increased productivity, definitely its economic growth is driven by the innovation and technological improvements, so which reduce the cost of production and enable higher output. So we're talking about productivity also, because we have to think that how we can, because I already told that innovation is the type of what I can say solution already integrated with existing solutions to provide your deliverables with ease. Okay, so naturally, when you're talking about the deliverables with ease, you're talking about more productivity. Definitely, it will put a positive impact on the company culture. Okay, so it increases the ability to acquire or create and make use of best user competencies, skills, and knowledge. This is how we talk about the importance of innovation. I hope everybody is clear. So let's talk about second one, that is patent. When I talk about patent, very many misconceptions are there. So whether we can file a patent through an idea, so whether we can file a patent through certain other things, can we file a research paper before? See, for patent, you cannot file a research paper before. Once it patented, then you can file a research paper, then you can make a research paper also, then you can publish a research paper also. Okay, so patent is a protection granted by national government for an invention. This is the definition. I just put it out. So this protection includes from making, using, or selling an invention for a period of 20 years. I think now that some changes are there, and this some years time has been somehow reduced. But yes, patent is just going through certain processes. You will see over there. It go through filing, then it would come published, and then it would be granted. So why patent is necessary? For exclusive rights. You will get an opportunity to license, or you can sell the invention. You can sell. You can give you the rights to certain company to manufacture it. Okay, once you give the rights to such a company to manufacture, definitely you will get a royalty for the same. If you see that you don't have such resources to make that particular patent, then you can give the certain rights to that particular company for certain years, and you can get royalty. Certain terms and conditions can be settled between the two parties. Okay, so when I talk about exclusive rights, so exclusive right means patent provides exclusive rights which allows inventor to exclude others from using the net invention, and the years that how much protecting years you are providing, that depend upon certain government to certain government, and you can check out the 20 years, or it can be 10 years for certain other countries, right? So when I talk about, see, nowadays we're talking about the PCT trade, PCT also. So when I talk about PCT, you can file a patent in India and it can be protected in other countries also. When we go for a documentation of a patent, we go through a PI form. Okay, every attorney or every consultant having certain kind of PI form or certain kind of information, they want to gather information about that patent from your side, what you know about it, how you are going to make that patent, what you are clear, whether you are clear about the conventional technologies or not, how you're going to make that particular patent. So it's just a PI form, we name it, and it's an application form filed by the investors, or it can be filed by the inventors also, to provide the detailed description of the invention. So it consists of key features, prior art, advantages of invention, drawbacks, and the diagrammatical representation of the invention also. Okay, and yes, I want to emphasize over here that yes, idea can also be patented. So how to write patent? When we talk about how to write patent, we have to go through certain process. First of all, as I told you, think of a problem. But when you're going to think of a problem, it can be many. So I would suggest over here that there are many problems, because we all are human. There's many problems, and when there's many problems, that we have to find a solution of that particular problem. And just you normally, I think 99% of people do Google, and when they're not going to find a solution of the problem, then they make a solution, and it is patent. So instead of thinking of a problem, try to find a solution of your problem on Google. If you're not able to, then try to make a solution. That is a patent. So conduct a thorough prior art survey or prior search, then draft broad claims, align claims and specifications, track your claims, and clarity is critical. This is how you can go through a patent before thinking to make a patent. So filing process for a patent, documentation of a new invention, then patent search to validate invention, filing for a patent office, publication, examination of patent, that is the FER and RFE, and then your grant of patent, and then the periodic renewal process will be carried out. Okay, otherwise it would be open to public. So once I'm putting a quote over here of the Thomson Edison, to invent you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. This is very, very important. I hope everybody know Edison. Before he invented a bulb, how many experiments he used? He made 100 experiments in which he failed. That doesn't mean that, you know, he will give up. No, he said, or by his 100 experiments, he know by these 100 experiments anybody can fail. This is the 100 paths by which nobody should go, otherwise he is not going to invent a bulb. Okay, incandescent bulb, incandescent light. So to invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. That is very, very important. That's the quote I quote over here by the Thomson Edison. This is very, very important. Whenever you quote something, you cite something, you cite certain author, you cite certain researcher, you have to mention his or her name. Otherwise, it is copied. Otherwise, it is copied. It is come under the category of copying. And nowadays, every government and UGC is very strict on copying the content of other researcher without citing. Okay, and this is also a non-ethical behavior, and we should avoid it. Right, and plagiarism, we also talk about plagiarism. Plagiarism should be less than 10% in a research paper, in a review paper also. And one source from one source, it should not be more than 4%. That certain regulations, certain standards we should follow. Now let's talk about trademark. What is trademark? When I talk about trademark, we have to go certain. When I'm talking about trademark, some of the people are confused with copyright also. Deliberately, I put this kind of background on copyright. When I talk about trademark, don't confuse yourself. Think about it. This TM. Okay, so it's a recognizable insignia, phrase, word. It can be symbol that denote a specific product. Okay, so it refers to recognizable insignia, phrase, word, or symbol that denotes a specific product and legally differentiate it from all other products of its kind. I'll keep it simple. You can see in every of the company. Right now, I'm using what I can say, a sanitizer of the Bisleri. They just put it marketed in the and with the name Hello Sunshine, and over this it is written TM. So this is your trademark. Okay, so what trademark is all about? That means it is the company. Okay, that means you can see that. Let me show you that what I'm trying to say. You can see that I am using an over a sanitizer, which is having a trademark TM. Okay, so that means you are protecting yourself. This is the only reason you're protecting yourself, right? This as you can see, if I am having some logo, okay, I'm using certain logo in my PPT, I'm using certain logo in certain in my work. So if it is trademark, I have to take a permission. Clear? So differentiate all of the products kind. So a trademark exclusively identify a product as belonging to a specific company and recognize a company ownership of the brand. This is very, very important. Ownership of the brand. Okay, but if I talk about copyright, it is a little bit different for trademark. You can see that copyright can be author, can be content, can be web, can be guidelines, can be law, can be property also. Okay, so copyright is basically author right. Normally, when you are going to publish a research paper, we go with a copyright, whether it's IEEE, whether it's Springer, whether it's elsewhere, or any other publisher. They go with your copyright. Okay, it's a legal term used to describe the rights that creators have, right? Their library artistic work. So it should, even though if you're talking about some references, some figures you are citing in your particular paper, so you have to take a copyright authorization or request. You have to take a particular author, because whatever the figures he or she published, they are copyright protected. Okay, so works covered copyright range from books, music, paintings, even your films, sculpture, computer programs, state databases, advertisements, and technical drawings. So there are range of things which can be copyright. Right? So what we conclude now? We conclude that if you want to reach the island where the magic happens, In a technology, the path is innovation. I just want to describe in my words that see, some island is there. Now you can see the one deer is there. What you see in this picture? What the perception you build in this picture? Just see. You can see different lights. A forest is there. One deer is there. But deer is having a different color. It is different from your greenery. This is not a color which normally deer is shown in certain pictures of on web or normally. But when we say that from this, we talk about if you want to see magic in the technology, if you want to play with the technology, if you want to utilize the technology, if you want to work in a particular domain, if you want to excel with technology, the path is innovation. If you don't innovate, whether it's a small innovation or large innovation, doesn't matter. Still date, students, I filed 12 patents, and 4 are in the process of grant. And mark my words, innovation don't stop you to enter in other field area. That's why I always says, if you have a problem, find a solution in Google. If you don't get a solution on Google, make your own solution, and that will be only carried out with innovation. I'm again repeating, innovation is adding certain features to the conventional technologies, conventional systems, so that the deliverables can be obtained. So with this, I hope this lecture worked for you. So I gave a lecture on IPR, try to include each and every component of IPR, what IPR stands for, how the what IPR, how many components are included in the IPR, how the innovation stands for, and how you can do certain innovation, certain steps. So with this, I hope everything is clear to you. With this, I am keeping my lecture off and I'm logging off. Thank you, please.